Hey everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and this is going to be a little short one because this is more of a here's a good resource for you. And if you haven't been to this resource, you might want to take some time and look over it and see what there is there, because this is the #Spygate project. And in it they have a lot of different timelines going on. This is the timeline right here. And then they also have up here in the interactives, you can search the original text messages that were going on between Struck and Page. You can do it, there's a search here. You can put in a word and search for it. They have different batches that were available, who sent them, and the day of the week. I'm not sure why that would make a difference, but they're listed by that. The raw timeline is where we were, and you can look at the raw timeline, and you can also go through and there's a slider here so you can look at different parts of it, and you can search in something. You can, for instance, put in something like Comey if you want to see where that starts, and you'll notice this starts with 2001, so it does go back behind. But this was interesting when I put that in and looked for it. DOJ forms Enron task force led by Lisa Monaco, Andrew Weissman, James Comey, Christopher Wray, and Robert Mueller. Maybe Trump put Christopher Wray in as FBI director because he knew what these guys were involved with. Now, I don't know her, but I do know Andrew Weissman, James Comey, and Robert Mueller. And so, I hope Christopher Wray was not picking up any of their bad habits while he was there. But we've been told to trust Wray, so I think probably he is a white hat that is trying to sort all this stuff out. And so maybe he is the perfect person because he knows what they did to Enron. Okay, so anyway, you can see all these have something to do with Comey, and you can see the timeline dates here. And so you can go through, you can do any of the timeline stuff. Again, there's a map with some of the major locations. You can go through and see those and click on them, and it tells you what they are. But there's the knives came out. This was the period of time between May 9th to the 17th in 2017, when pretty much all of this started really happening. This is where Comey was fired, and then everything started happening there. So yeah, it was very interesting. I remember this. This was where Colbert said that he'd been fired and everybody started cheering. And he was like, no, you can't do that. And he stopped him. So anyway, all of this stuff is coming out, and it's all in a resource here for you. The resources, too, have a lot of good things, some organizational charts. Here's a PowerPoint movement within FBI PowerPoint, and DOJ and Counterintelligence Division, if you want to get a grasp on how everybody, fits in together in all these things. The Trump campaign legal team changes, that was kind of interesting. Down here it tells the who is histories for these different websites. If you're not familiar with who is, that is like the domain registries. When you get a domain, the website domain, then there's information posted there in the who is, so people can contact the domain owners if they need to. So there's always information there about it. Then they've got some threads here, and these are like, this one was really good, the Mike Flynn one. And you can go through and you can read some of the things here. It doesn't tell everything you'd like to know. It's kind of like just the facts. So there's some gaps here and some things I had questions on when I read through it, but I thought it was an interesting read. And I'm not going to read it to you right now, but I thought it was kind of an interesting timeline. It's more of a timeline than actually giving any comments about it. There's one for Carter Page too. So there's what they have. Now all of this is based on, this table mirrors the timeline of events.txt GitHub file. And so if you are into seeing the text file, there it is. And I think you can probably contribute to it at that link right there. But yeah, this is a great resource. And I do think there's some things that are probably missing in the timeline. But I'm sure if you want to help, if that's something you enjoy doing, go ahead and put them in, submit them. Go to this right here. It will take you to, like I said, a text thing, or you can check him out here. Contact him and tell him you want to help. I'm sure he probably would not turn you down. So anyway, there we go. I thought it was really interesting. There's a lot of things that they include in this. Oh, look at that. Ronald Reagan elected President of the United States. Chuck Grassley first elected to the U.S. Senate. Huh, isn't that interesting? You go, Chuck Grassley. Anyway, so lots of interesting things just to go through and read and see some of this timeline and how things are now going to start fitting all together. So that's what I've got for you. And as always, the links will be down below in the description. If you can't find the description and you're like on a cell phone or something like that, check for a little down arrow or maybe 3 little dots and click on those and see if you can't get it to drop down. All right, so that's where it'll be. I want to thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you all later.